Welcome to Phillip Island, Victoria in Australia. What a setting we have for this great sporting contest, the Little Penguin Sea to Dune race. Nervous moments always as they gather on the beach, the tension mounting, and away they go. There's the defending champion, wearing his familiar navy blue and white, great waddling style. Another pre-race favourite though, losing touch with the pack. Maybe that's why. A few too many fish in the day's feeding. There's a familiar face, Skip McIntyre, 8 times a champion back in the 90s, a very successful coach now, keeping a keen eye on proceedings. This the leading group, one or two still able to put on a show for the camera, others just ploughing straight over it. Some resorting to shortcuts. Sad that cheating has crept into this beautiful sport. The judges will have a look at that. But up at the front, the pace is relentless, closing in on those sand dunes that will offer a bed for the night. The fatigue starting to tell. Who's got the finishing kick up on the outside? What a turn of pace from that one, whichever one it is. No answer from the rest, and he takes victory. What a win. There we are, into the Burrow, building an extension with his winnings, and back tomorrow to try and defend his title here on Phillip Island.
Good evening and welcome to Live Penguin TV. My name is Megan and I'm going to be your host tonight as we watch the world's smallest species of penguin, our little penguin, coming out of the water, crossing the beach and heading back to their burrows here on Phillip Island in Victoria, Australia. And tonight I'm joined by Rach. Rach, come on in, tell us what you're going to be doing tonight.
Hi guys, good evening. I will be monitoring your questions on Facebook and YouTube, so please pop in any of the questions you've got and I'll try my best to pick some up and pass it on to Megan to help us answer them. Thank you very much, Megan.
Fantastic, thank you, Rach. Now, we are live streaming for you this weekend, tonight and tomorrow night, because tomorrow is World Penguin Day. And we think that penguins deserve more than just one day. So we're dubbing this World Penguin Weekend. And there's already one little penguin you might see hanging around in the water there. So we have 2 nights of action-packed live streaming for you. Tonight we will be streaming down to the beach, having a bit to chat to Sky and some special guests, and then tomorrow I will have a special co-host joining me. Now, before we start chatting to our special guests, I would just like to acknowledge the land that we are joining you from tonight. So we are on Phillip Island, also known as Millau. And Millau is the traditional name for Phillip Island used by the Bunurong. So the Bunurong were the first people here on Phillip Island, and they've been coming here for thousands of years, caring for the land that we are on. And I would just like to acknowledge the Bunurong and their elders past, present and emerging as the traditional custodians of the land that we are on tonight, and acknowledge the traditional custodians of any lands that any of you may be watching from tonight, and acknowledge any Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander people who may be watching or joining us here at the Penguin Parade tonight as well. Now, we'll watch this little penguin hanging out at the edge of the water while I cross over to Sky. So I'm going to bring Sky up on the screen. Hello, Sky. How are you going? Oh, hang on, Sky, you're on mute.
Hello.
Hello.
Wonderful. Hello, everybody. I didn't want to be talking in your ear. Guy here. I'm on the Penguins Plus boardwalk right now, and I'm getting ready to watch the Penguins come in. I'm super excited, and I hope everybody else is as excited as I am for Penguin Weekend.
Oh, very excited. And we have one penguin at the edge of the water. Have you seen him?
Oh, no, I haven't seen him, so I'm actually sticking away from the people at the moment because I didn't want to distract them with my booming loud voice.
You can be quite distracting, so that's fair enough.
Exactly.
And I believe you're down there with some special guests, Sky.
I am, and I've got one of them with me right now. I'd like to introduce everybody to one of our fantastic volunteers, and I would say maybe head honcho water watcher. Everybody, this is Karen.
Whoops. Hi, Megan.
Hi, Karen. How are you going?
Good. It's not too cold out here.
Oh, that's good to hear. It's been a bit of a miserable day, so it's great to have you with us tonight.
Thank you.
Now, Karen,
We've already seen a bandicoot.
have you? Oh, that's fantastic. Have you? So you're a volunteer here at Phillip Island Nature Park. Have you seen many bandicoots getting around the island?
Yes, I often see them in the Raid car park, actually.
There you go.
They're like scooting around in front of the buses. So
Yeah, we need to be extra careful when we're driving out on the roads around here. There's definitely lots of bandicoots running around. I'm so excited you already got to see one. We'll have to try and get one on the camera later on tonight. And Karen, what do you do here as a volunteer? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
well, at the moment, I'm working on the Nobbies Boardwalk, so I answer people's questions and try and ensure that they have a good time when they come and visit the Phillip Island Nature Park. I will also be doing koalas, so the Koala Conservation Centre, and there's new opportunities for the volunteers at the moment, so I'm very excited. I'll be actually helping out with the Penguin Parade and even doing the count, which I did years and years ago, so trying to count penguins, which is a difficult job.
Oh, it is, and it's fantastic to have you doing all these different things. So if people come and visit Phillip Island and you're heading to the sites, you might see Karen around. Seems likely.
I've been around for a while, so...
And you mentioned the penguin count, so we do have a ranger counting all of the penguins across the beach tonight. And last night, do you want to know how many penguins we had come in last night?
Ooh, I think I read the sign.
Oh, okay. I won't get you to guess last night then. I will get you to guess tonight, and anyone who wants to guess in the comments how many penguins they think are going to come in tonight. Rachel does have the numbers from last night for us. Rach, how many did we have last night?
We've got 1,233 came home at 6:13 p.m.
1,233. So for those of you that don't know, each night here at the Penguin Parade, we do have a penguin lotto. So all of our rangers guess how many penguins are going to come in each night. Last night, I guessed 1,234 just because I couldn't think of something. So I went 1, 2, 3, 4, and I was one penguin off. So I was very happy. So Karen, I'm going to ask you, how many penguins do you think are going to come in tonight?
Ooh, I think I'll go for a James Bond number. I think I'll do 1,007, 1007.
Oh, I like that. Fantastic. And I believe you're out there with a few other wattle watchers, so you'll all have to have a bit of a bet amongst yourselves.
I wonder if we're eligible for getting a chocolate bar off Stephen.
Look, I have one in my pigeonhole. If you guys get close, maybe I'll bring it out for you. So you are there, like I said, with a few other of the wattle watchers. So what has it been like meeting people who you have connected with through the live stream? Like you've all kind of talked to each other in the messages on Facebook, and now you get to meet in person. What's it like?
Yeah, well, everyone's very excited to be here. Today, Diane and myself, we went down to the Koala Conservation Centre, and it was just wonderful. I'm very passionate about Phillip Island. I love the area, and it's just lovely being able to share it live with people that have learned so much through the live stream, and also the Wattle Watchers page as well. And it's also lovely to be here and to be able to support Phillip Island Nature Park as well.
oh, a bandicoot just ran away across our highway camera. I wasn't quick enough to zoom in, but I think that's probably the one you were talking about. Well, that's so lovely. I'm glad you guys have got to meet in person. And you said that you guys have learned a lot. Well, you guys have actually taught us a lot because you learned so much that you were asking us questions that we'd never thought of. So you asked us all these questions, and so we've had to look them up and find out the answers. So we've been learning quite a bit through this as well. So while we were closed and the live stream was streaming out every night, what did that mean to you?
To me personally, look, I've been coming down to Phillip Island for 15 years. And of course I live in Melbourne. So not to be able to jump in the car and to be able to just come down and enjoy the island was something that I really missed during COVID, because I wasn't able to come down from, I think, February was the last time I was able to come down. And I did get down here in June, July. But apart from that, I had to wait till November. So people were great. They were posting photos of the island and so forth on Facebook for me, and I really appreciated that. The live stream was just great because it was a connect to the island and also to the staff as well. Not only that, I think for water watchers worldwide, or for our viewers worldwide, they've been able not only to see the penguins, but I think through the presenters, they've learned so much more about the nature park and the work behind the scenes as well, which has been really great.
And we've loved sharing that with you guys. I think just seeing all of your lovely comments and questions each night was fantastic, because we were really missing that connection with visitors while we were closed. So to be able to bring the penguins to people and still see people enjoying and loving penguins, because like, what's not to love? Everyone loves penguins, am I right? Yeah. It was amazing, and be able to create that connection to nature as well while people couldn't get out and enjoy nature, because we're very lucky that we live here. So we're loving having people being able to come down and visit again, and having you guys here tonight is absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
And a big shout out to all of our water watchers around the world. So the people who couldn't be with you guys down on the stands tonight, we hope to see you back here as soon as possible, as soon as you're able. Hello. Oh, we've got Michael down there as well. Another familiar face.
He's looking after us very well. So,
I don't doubt that. You've got the A team down there tonight. You've got Sky and Michael. All right, so I might leave you guys to watch the penguins now, and we'll be zooming in with you later on once the penguins start coming out to see how your night's going.
Okay, and happy World Penguin Day to all water watchers worldwide.
Yes. Happy World Penguin Weekend, we're calling it now. Alrighty, we'll check in with you later. Thank you so much, Karen.
Okay, thanks, Megan.
Bye-bye. All right, and we have one lone penguin who's made his way across the beach, but he won't start our penguin count. We haven't had penguins cross anywhere else, have we, Rach?
No, we haven't.
No, just this one brave little penguin. So it's a little bit unusual to see a penguin cross on their own, because normally what the penguins are doing and what they've been doing for the last couple of hours, if you don't know, they've been out there forming groups that we call rafts. Because crossing the beach tonight is the most scary, the most dangerous part of the penguins' day. So they form groups for safety in numbers before they cross the beach, because they're worried about big birds of prey, things like sea eagles, swamp harriers, Pacific gulls, who might try and make a penguin into a snack. So this penguin crossing all by himself when it's still a little bit light out, he's been very brave, although they are quite late tonight. Last night the penguins came in at 6:13. So that's what we were expecting. We were all ready for them to be here already. But just this little guy. So I might have a bit of a look out to the water and see if we can spot any of those rafts. And it is a little bit rough out there. But what we're looking for is a black line on the surface of the water. And those penguins will be out there in those rafts, and they'll be talking to each other. So when they're in the water, oh, there's a big raft. There we go. Can you see that big black line? I didn't think we'd be able to see them so clearly, but it must be a massive group. And they'll be going, huck, 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 huck. Do you huck with me, Rach? And that's the penguins. They'll be talking to each other, working out whether it's safe to come in and cross the beach. Ooh, and I'll zoom out a little bit. It's a bit hard to focus because it's getting quite dark. And we'll try and follow this big dark mass onto the shore. And they're just looking at the horizon. And it looks like they've decided it's dark enough. Because when it's dark, that's when those birds of prey go to roost for the night. And it is safest for the penguins to cross the beach. And where have they got? There they are. They've decided it's looking safe, so they're going to come up and pop up out of the water. But our penguin counter tonight, who's Heather, who you might have seen on the live stream before. And there's two groups, they split into two. Heather is counting tonight. So she is waiting for 4 more penguins to cross. So we need 5 penguins in total to cross to officially start our penguin count. So I hope you've all got in your guesses as to how many you think are going to come in after we had 1,233 penguins last night.
Water's Edge.
Oh, penguins at the water's edge. Yep, there certainly is. There's a lot of them. I think we're going to have more penguins than that tonight. What did I guess? I think I guessed 1,700, which is a bit optimistic, but that is a nice big group to start us off. Do you have a guess tonight, Rach? What do you guess for our penguin lotto?
1,560.
Oh, there you go. We're both going a bit higher because we have had around 1,200 penguins the last 3 nights. Michael, get your head off the camera. That's Michael there for those of you who haven't seen Michael on the live stream before. He's one of our regular presenters. I'll get his head out of the way and we'll zoom in on the penguins.
And while we're at it, Simon Brady was asking, how does Heather count these penguins so dark in the evening?
Oh, it's definitely not an easy job. So Heather is up near the main stands with a pair of binoculars, and that's a start to our penguin count, is it right? Beautiful. Yep. They made it halfway across the beach. So she'll be counting all of these penguins as they cross it. But Heather has been counting penguins for many years. So she's pretty good at telling what a group of 5, 10, 20 penguins looks like. So in a group like this, she probably won't be counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or she won't be counting the legs and dividing by 2. She'll know roughly what a group of penguins looks like. So it's never going to be 100% accurate, but we have had penguin study group volunteers come out and count the penguins with us to check the accuracy, and we think there's only about 10% error, which isn't too bad when we've been counting the penguins this way since 1968. We want to keep it the same so we can compare the numbers over all of those years with the same amount of error. So we can pretty much compare them. We can see how the penguin numbers have changed over the years, and we definitely have many, many more penguins than we did when the penguin count started. We only had roughly about 12,000 penguins in our colony here in the 80s, and now we're up to over 32,000 little penguins here on the Summerland Peninsula. So they are doing incredibly well, and we have been having very good penguin numbers for this time of year. So I think last time we joined you guys, the penguins were molting. So most penguins have finished up their annual molt now. We still have a few scruffy penguins who are still finishing off that molt. But most of them have finished, so we're probably not going to see too many chunky penguins tonight. What they're doing now is spending a little bit longer out at sea. So as it gets cooler, food is typically a little bit further away, and the penguins have to spend a bit longer out there searching for food. And sometimes, I'm going to go to the highway camera because there's a group coming past so quickly. They're in a rush tonight.
That's about 280 in the first raft.
Whoa, 280 in that first group. Yeah, I think we can have good numbers tonight. Let us know if anyone thought they counted them. If you think Heather was right, if there were 280, if you think there are a few more or a few less. Oh, sorry, let me swing this camera around a little bit quicker. There we go. And look at those little wiggly waggly penguin butts. I just love this view of the penguins because it's not something we see very often. We watch them cross the beach, they're coming towards us. But this is probably kind of what you would see in the morning when they go out. So they'll go out in the morning an hour or two before sunrise. They'll head out to sea with their little butts facing you, going out into the water before the sun comes up again. But there will be penguins who stay on land as well. Because even though they are spending a little bit longer out at sea at the moment, coming into autumn, sometimes penguins do something called their autumn breeding attempt. And we think we've seen a little bit of this going on because in autumn the conditions can get quite similar to spring. The penguins have finished breeding, they've finished molting, and if there's still lots of food, they may go, oh, we can start breeding, it's time to breed. So we might see a little bit of courtship, some burrow renovation. The males might be coming in to dig a little bit, collect some grass and vegetation, make their burrow nice and cozy, getting ready to impress a girlfriend, which might be the same girlfriend that they had, let's go back to the beach, that they had for the last breeding season, or they might be looking for someone new. And we might see some special penguin cuddles, as I like to call them, a bit of an indication that they might be trying to breed. And we used to call this the false breeding, because they would renovate their burrows, they'd court, they'd breed, but they wouldn't usually lay eggs or raise chicks this time of year. But we started to see more and more that sometimes they are laying eggs, sometimes they're raising chicks. A couple of years ago, we had a really good autumn breeding attempt. So we don't call it false breeding anymore, it is an autumn breeding attempt. And we had, I believe it was about 25% of our penguins here at the Penguin Parade who successfully raised chicks. So who knows what's going to be going on? We might keep a bit of an eye out for a bit of love going on, a bit of penguin love tonight. Because the penguins will take any opportunity to breed, because they want to make the most of their time here on land and the food that's available to them to be a nice big productive penguin colony. Now, while we're watching these little guys on the rocks and waiting for the next group, we will go back to the beach in a moment. Before we do, Rach, do we have any questions?
I actually have got a joke for you.
Oh, a joke?
Yeah, from Kaylee Kimberly.
Yeah.
For our penguin weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So she's asked, the joke goes, what type of pasta does a penguin like?
What type of pasta does a penguin like? I think I might know. Is it penguini?
Yes! Oh, Megan, you're so good. So good, isn't it? Penguini.
I
love
think
that.
That's pretty good.
I love that. There's another one though.
I'm going to tell Stephen that one. Stephen
I
will
know,
appreciate that.
So good.
Okay, you got another one?
Yeah.
Is this one also from Kaylee?
Yes, from Kaylee
Thank
Kimberly.
you, Kaylee.
What do penguins wear to the beach?
What do penguins wear to the beach? Flip-flops?
Flipper.
Flipper
Flipper-flops. I like that too.
I haven't heard that one before. No, I like that. That's great.
That's great, Kimberly. Oh, Kaylee?
Thank you, Kaylee. That's great. We don't get a lot of penguin jokes. I know Sky has encouraged people to send in their penguin
So good.
poems, but we love some jokes. If anyone else has any penguin jokes, send them through. If you've watched before, you know Stephen, who's one of our other live stream hosts, he loves penguin jokes as well. So we'll save some of them for him. Now I might zoom out, a little bit, and we'll see if there's any more penguins on their way in. Where are all our penguins tonight? Because that was a nice big group for the start. There's another, oh, here we go. Here's another little group getting ready to come out of the water. And we do have quite a high tide tonight, so that might be why that one brave little penguin crossed and why they might be feeling a little bit more confident to go in a small group. Because it is scary running across that big open beach. Oh, these guys are going to join up with the group. And this is when they're the most vulnerable. They're really well camouflaged when they're out at sea, which is where they spend about 80% of their time. So they're really good at being out in the ocean. But when they do come up onto land, as you can see, they're quite conspicuous. They're quite nervous. But these guys aren't too stressed tonight because the tide is quite high. They don't have too far to walk. They're just going to make that dangerous dash across that little bit of sand and come up onto the rocks. And they're probably going to join these penguins that are still hanging out on the rocks, because once they get across the beach, they feel safe. So they're going to stop and have a little bit of a rest, have a little bit of a preen. What's that penguin doing? He must live in the bushes right there. And they want to make sure their feathers are nice and sleek, nice and waterproof. Make sure they're looking good because they might be heading home to see their partners. They might be looking for a new partner because our little penguins, they don't mate for life. Oh, what was that? Oh, a Ricali. So that was a native water rat that just ran across the screen. Where did he go? I think he's gone into the bushes. He was so quick. I hope you guys spotted the Ricali. I like to call them Ricali. That's their traditional name rather than a water rat because they aren't like a gross black rat that you think of who gets into your house and steals the food from your pantry. They are a native animal who lives in our waterways, the water rat. And you can see the difference. They have a cute little puffy face and they have a long tail with that little white bit on the end that you might have seen as the Ricali run away. And we see a lot more of them when our creek is happening. So we've had a lot of rain recently. So, oh, there he goes. He's going to go into the water. He's going to go for a swim. Oh, I'm going to quickly try. Oh, he's too quick for me. Where'd you go? I think we all saw it. That was pretty cool. Swam right through the water. So we do have a bit of a creek that runs down from Swan Lake and forms this little puddle down here in front of where the penguins cross. So we can see the penguins swimming through the water, which is something you don't normally get to see so close. There go a couple. And we see more of the Ricali, and we'll also keep an eye out for bandicoots. So we saw a bit of a glimpse of a bandicoot earlier. We'll see if we can spot one again. We're seeing more and more bandicoots out and about lately. They have been here on the Summerland Peninsula for about 3 years. We introduced 67 bandicoots, and now the estimate is over 300 bandicoots running around the Summerland Peninsula here. And if you don't know what I'm talking about when I say bandicoot, we do have eastern barred bandicoots here on the Summerland Peninsula. And that is part of our conservation work that goes on here at Phillip Island Nature Parks, which I haven't even talked about yet. The penguins distracted me. And we are a non-for-profit, self-funded conservation organisation. So the money that we get from people coming to see the penguins, heading up to the knobbies, the koalas that Karen mentioned, and going to Churchill Island as well, all that money goes back in towards conservation education and research. And if you do come and join us, you are helping out with the work that we do here. And if you can't come join us, you can help us here at Phillip Island Nature Parks by donating to the Penguin Foundation. So you'll find that link in the description, and there's a bandicoot on the Penguin Highway. And it's a little bit dark, but I'm going to try and zoom in and show you the bandicoot. Oh, goodness me. And we do have bandicoots here because we are fox free here on Phillip Island. So we have managed to get rid of the European red fox, which is a introduced predator that has a huge negative impact on our wildlife. You can't really see him too well, but you might be able to see those little stripes on his back that give him the name, the Eastern Barred Bandicoot. So we're very lucky that we've been able to bring bandicoots, a species that was once extinct in the wild here on the Australian mainland. We've been able to bring them here to Phillip Island. Now, I believe that I have Sky back down at the stand zooming in, so I'm going to bring Sky up on the screen and see what is happening down at the beach. Hello, Sky. How's it going down there?
Hello, we're having a lot of fun down here on the beach. That first group was huge. Well, actually, it was 2, wasn't it?
It was, how many was it, Rachel? Was it 240?
80.
280.
280 in that first group, everybody.
Isn't that
280.
impressive?
Letting everybody know. So just so everybody knows around here, I'm just on the live stream at the moment. So we might be able to give Megan a wave to that camera up the top there.
Oh, hang on, let me zoom out.
We're just down the front.
Give us a wave.
There we go. We'll give her a wave.
There you are. Hello, guys. So good to see you down there.
Oh, and more penguins are just arriving.
Oh, and I got to say, I'm loving the penguin Woody.
Another big group.
Another big group? Okay, I'm going to go have a look.
Oh, you're loving the penguin sweater, did you say?
The Woody, the big jumper.
Yes,
I have one of them at home. They are amazing. I would recommend wearing them down to the Penguin Parade. To
Megan likes your top.
That is amazing. What else would you wear down to the Penguin Parade, really?
Oh, and even more penguins coming in. Another big rush.
Oh, do we want to guess how many is in this group? What do we reckon?
Oh, any guesses for this group? No, they're too distracted by the penguins. I can't.
That's
Sorry.
fair enough. Look, we're all pretty distracted by the penguins. Good numbers coming in tonight. Are you guys keeping nice and warm down there?
Yeah, I'm toasty. It's absolutely fine. It's actually not as cold as it seems.
Oh, that's good. Although I am sure the people joining from home are still happy to be in their nice warm houses. All right, so that's one group, and we might find out from Heather how many was in that group. And oh, and there's the other group joining them. I see them now. Wow.
Yeah, very distracted by these penguins down here now. Oh, and another group swimming in as well.
And did you guys see the Ricali?
Yes, it's been really active. We've been loving the Ricali, haven't we?
Oh, we love that little thing. And the bandicoot.
And the Bandicoot?
There they go.
Fantastic. Yeah, we saw the Ricali running around going for a swim, and we spotted the Bandicoot over on the highway as well. So all the wildlife's coming out for our water watchers tonight.
I know. Really spectacular for our water watchers.
Okay.
I might leave you to it, Megan.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks, Sky. Thanks,
All
guys.
The Penguin Day.
Happy World Penguin Day.
All right, see you,
All
Megan.
right, thanks. Bye. I think I was a bit of a huck as we went away there. That was great. Fantastic. Okay. So we have another big group of penguins. Did we hear how many was in this group, Rach?
There's 154, 2 joined up.
Yeah,
So,
okay,
yeah.
there's 2 groups in one,
So,
154. Fantastic. Heather has definitely got her work cut out for her counting these penguins tonight. And we will, tomorrow night, be able to let you know how many penguins came across the beach tonight. Oh, and there's some on the highway. Let me zoom around and follow these little guys. And while we're watching these little penguin butts, do we have a question, Rach?
We do. We've got a 6-year-old Keegan asking, how many penguins do we have around us?
Ooh, okay, that's a good question, Keegan. So, in the whole penguin colony here on Phillip Island, we have about 32,000 little penguins. So, it is the largest colony of little penguins in the world. They are only found in Australia and New Zealand, but we like to say we have the largest colony in the world because we do. But at the Penguin Parade is about 10% of the entire penguin colony. So, we have about 3,000 to 4,000 penguins that live here at the Penguin Parade. So, and some of the ones that we see crossing the beach, they don't even live down here at the Penguin Parade. Oh, we have a little wallaby having a drink from the puddle. Some of the ones that come across this beach, they actually head up the hill and they walk across the road up there that is closed off after sunset, and they head up into the old housing estate. So up in the penguin colony, there actually used to be a housing estate which has been bought back for the conservation of our little penguins, which has been a fantastic initiative, which is something that has allowed our penguin numbers to increase from the 12,000 to the 32,000 that we have now. And there's another wallaby. Oh, the wildlife is all coming out for you guys tonight, which is fantastic. They've missed these live streams. They want to show off. The wallabies want to let you know that it's not just the penguins that you can see if you come and visit us here at the Penguin Parade. I'm going to zoom in a little bit because I want to show these guys a little bit closer because they are swamp wallabies. We don't have any kangaroos here on Phillip Island, and they are gorgeous little marsupials. These guys, they are a bit darker than kangaroos, and I was trying to see their tails, but I don't see it. But often a lot of our wallabies here on Phillip Island have a little white tip on the end of their tails that you don't often see in other places. So they are pretty unique and special, our little swamp wallabies that we have around here. And the swamp wallabies and the penguins, they usually steer clear of each other. They won't necessarily pick a fight. I have seen a wallaby hop across a penguin pathway and hop on a penguin's head, but the penguin was fine. It was an accident. And there is actually something else special happening at the moment that I did want to mention. So you might have heard about another bird we have that nest here called the short-tailed shearwater. And they come here all the way from Alaska in at the end of September, start of October each year. The adult shearwaters, they build a burrow just like the penguins. They lay their egg and raise a single chick in each burrow. And a couple of weeks ago, all the adult shearwaters, they headed off to Alaska via Antarctica, and they left their chicks here. And the chicks right now are getting ready to head up to Alaska. They're waiting for a windy night to take off and learn how to fly and make that 16,000 kilometer journey up to Alaska. So that's what we have going on at the moment. And something that often happens with our little shearwater chicks learning to fly is that they mistake the roads and the road lights for the ocean. So if you are visiting us here on Phillip Island this weekend or in the next couple of weeks, be really careful looking out for those shearwaters on the road, because they do crash. And we do have rangers heading out each night for the next couple of weeks. I was lucky enough to head out there the other night and help collect those fledgling shearwaters off the roads and return them to the colony to give them another chance to take off and learn to fly on the wind to make it up to Alaska. So they are absolutely incredible birds. And last night I did see a shearwater just sitting in the colony, getting ready, building up that muscle, getting ready to take off. And a penguin walked out and looked at the shearwater and was like, what are you doing here? And it was kind of like, oh, let me investigate. And the penguin went up to the shearwater kind of looked at it, and the penguin just went, oh, and pecked at the shearwater. So the penguins are certainly the boss around here, and they will do that to a curious little bandicoot as well, just letting them know that this is their home. So yeah, all the wildlife is doing some pretty interesting things here on Phillip Island at the moment. And we're almost out of time with the live stream. Gosh, it's gone so fast. I've forgotten how much I can talk about penguins. We might grab one or two last questions before we finish up, Rach.
Be great, thank you.
Yeah.
Megan. Samuel Sue was asking, what's the biggest swaddle of penguins that we've counted?
Ooh, that's a interesting question, Samuel. The biggest I know how many, the highest number we've counted in a night. I haven't actually done the penguin count very much. Rach, what do you think the biggest group you've ever counted is?
Yeah, I would say it's more than 300. It's a little around 300.
I think one of our veteran penguin counters, Tom, has said he's counted a group of over 400. So they can get pretty big. The most we've ever had in one night was one night in the middle of an incredibly synchronized breeding season where all the penguins were breeding at the same time. We had 4,398 penguins across the beach. That was actually the summer that I had started working here, and I thought that those numbers were normal. But that was an absolute cracker of a breeding season and incredible numbers. We might grab one more question.
Okay.
What do you think, Rach?
Have you ever seen any penguins got trapped or caught in a fishing net before, Megan?
Ooh, okay. I've never seen one in a fishing net. We've definitely seen entangled penguins. One night, our rangers actually collected a penguin from the beach who came up and started crossing, and he was getting stuck in the seaweed. And when they went to check him out and pick him up, they found that he had 15 meters worth of fishing line wrapped around his foot, and it had all gotten stuck in the seaweed, and he was trying to drag it across the beach. So they were lucky that they were able to catch him, cut it away, and release that penguin back into the wild. If you are a regular wattle watcher, you might have seen that one night. When I was running the live stream, we had Jordan down on Penguins Plus, and we had a penguin come in with something entangled around its neck. And to this day, we're still not exactly sure what that was, so I'm sorry I can't give you any more information about that. We think it might have been man-made, but we're not sure. But it was stuck around its neck, and we were able to capture that one and cut off the entanglement and release it. So it doesn't happen all the time, but it definitely happens that we have penguins come in within entanglements, and it certainly happens a lot up at Seal Rocks as well. So I've been out to Seal Rocks looking for seals with entanglements, and we've removed a piece of, I can't remember exactly what it was. It was a bit of a netting from around a seal. There was a big female that had a fishing hook stuck in her mouth with the line still attached. So definitely entanglement is a huge issue. Oh, the bandicoot's back on the highway. Oh, he's gone again. Yeah, it is a huge issue. So definitely, if you fish or even if you just use anything that can make a loop or an entanglement, or even balloons. If you release a balloon into the sky and it goes up into the atmosphere, it pops, it comes down, and that ribbon can become an entanglement as well. So we do need to make sure we're disposing of those things correctly and picking them up from our beaches. One thing I actually do as a volunteer here at Phillip Island Nature Parks is I volunteer for a monthly beach clean through our Turn the Tide program. I was out there on Wednesday at a beach called Berries Beach, and we picked up a piece of rope that probably weighed as much as me. I think it was probably it was all grouped up, and it would have been in a huge bundle, probably as tall as I am, and it weighed so much it took 3 of us to carry it back to take it off the beach. So we definitely want to remove those things where we can and make sure they're not ending up in our environment to protect our wildlife. And if you dispose of anything with a loop, cut the loop. And then even if it ends up in the environment, it reduces the chance that it can become an entanglement hazard. So that was a really good question. Thank you for that one, Rach.
Thank you, Megan.
And something that we can all do at home to help look after our wildlife and our little penguins. Now, all of our marine life out in the oceans is trying to reduce the marine debris that ends up out there. So that'll bring us to the end of our live penguin TV. I hope you've all had a great night watching our wonderful little penguins crossing the beach. And there's some more coming along the highway. And we will find out tomorrow night how many penguins are coming in. So come join us tomorrow night. We do have a special guest who will be co-hosting with me tomorrow night for our live Penguin Day stream for Live Penguin Weekend. We've absolutely loved having the Wattle Watchers joining us here at the Penguin Parade. For any Wattle Watchers at home, give us a bit of a huck in the comments. It's been lovely also meeting some of you down here at Phillip Island today, and we hope to see many more of you down here in the future, whether it be in the next 6 months or the next year or the next 2 or 3 years. Whenever you can come and join us, we would love to have you here. And if you would like to help us out with the conservation work we do here at Phillip Island, you can help by donating to the Penguin Foundation, adopting a penguin, adopting a bandicoot, adopting a shearwater. It all makes a huge difference to helping us protect our beautiful wildlife here. So thank you so much for tuning in. Rach and I will be seeing you all again hopefully tomorrow night. So will we finish off with a huck, Rach?
Sounds good.
Come on in. Bye everybody.
Good night. See you tomorrow.
Huck.